Hi and welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, well, over the last month or so, I may have gone a little bit crazy with the RCKicks budget and blown it completely out of the water. My FastFox conversion kind of got a little bit out of hand if you've seen the last few videos, and it doesn't seem to be slowing up anytime soon. Also, I fell into the whole Mini Z from Kyosho and bought all the limited edition ones. Saying that, another one that's arrived, it turned up just after I put out the video on that one, is this, a limited edition, one of 4,000. This is a Nissan Skyline. Beautiful body. This video is, can you still have RC fun from a main manufacturer without spending an absolute fortune? So I had this in mind. I've picked up this. This is a Team Associated RC28 Zoom, a 1/28 scale mini RC10 from Team Associated. Not only that, but I picked up this. It's kind of sister car, the RC28T. So in this video, we're going to check these out and see are they any good, as the price point on these is absolutely bargain. So I haven't looked at these, so the first thing we're going to do is unbox them, take a look at them, plug them in to charge them up as they come with their battery, and then take them for a little bit of a blast and see, can you really have something cool for not a lot of money? Sorry to interrupt your viewing pleasure, but how would you like the chance to win £400 or the equivalent in your currency in racing RC equipment? Have you been lusting after that latest racing buggy? Maybe you're thinking about getting into some vintage racing. Well, now's your chance for less than the price of a coffee or a small chocolate bar. And if you've already got your RC, but you're thinking about getting some fancy electronics, well, now you can, because you get to choose exactly how you want to spend that money. And if you've been thinking about getting into RC racing, but the price of entry seems to be putting you off, well, now's the chance that you can end up with £400 worth of equipment for the price of a coffee. So I'll put a 2D barcode up here on a link in the description, and head over there and pick up your tickets. And with a bit of luck, your name will be added to the long list of past winners. Right, let's take a look. And the first thing that jumps out that I absolutely love is what they've done with the boxes. They've basically scaled down a standard RC10 box to the point where they put all the extra bump on it and the history that you see on the normal boxes. It's all there. And for the kind of budget that you're looking at, the boxes are very premium. These are S20166. This is £56.99 in the UK, £56.99, and 20% of that price is the VAT. So they're basically giving them away. It's got to be almost a loss leader. So I'm not expecting a brilliant RC that's an RTR for that kind of money. But the boxes themselves must have set them back quite a bit, as the printing is all on point, exactly like what you'd expect. Right, let's take a look at the mini RC10 first. So we open the box, we get a manual. What's that? Some little extra links, I guess. This is the actual layout of it. Gosh, it's tiny, 1/28 scale. Now these have been out before. I can't really find a lot about them, but apparently in 2018-ish, they'd released these before, again for like $55 to $75. So they even throw in the batteries as well. So everything's kind of pinned down. So this is the body. So yeah, it's polycarbonate. It's painted. It's got all the decals as you expect. So even if you end up just having this sitting on the shelf, I mean, for the kind of money that they're talking about, everything's kind of fitted onto this, and the transmitter's underneath. So I think I'm going to need to get my snips. So you charge it straight from the chassis to a USB. The battery is inbuilt as well. Now to get access to this, I'm going to have to cut these. Right, I'm going to need a set of pliers. There we go. Let's not cut the aerial off. It's so dinky. So obviously this is toy grade. This is not anything more than that. So you've got a floating rear axle with some shocks. So it has got some suspension, but don't expect oil shocks at this level. And then you get the tiny little body, which I guess just velcros on the front. So it's very cute indeed. And especially for the money, is it proportional? I would hope it's proportional steering, but we'll have to find out. So obviously for that kind of money, to expect If anything though, the transmitter is pretty much what you expect from a low entry level anyway. So to this price point, I mean, it's got to be almost hollow, isn't it? But it's actually got foam on it. So that's plus. So then I would guesstimate that this would be this way. Is that going to turn on? Yes. So the previous one that they brought out, when they brought this up before, you used to charge it off of the transmitter. But now I think you just plug it into a USB. Right, so let's open up the next one. Right, so I'm interested to see, is there any difference between the chassis of this one versus the other one? Now I haven't even opened this one, it's still done. So we got to do that. Right, let's have a look. It looks like the same kind of manual. Apart from the wheels, it doesn't look to be any different whatsoever, exactly the same. They've just changed the front tires on it. So let's unpack it. I don't think it's going to be anything different. Oh, here's the body. So I wonder how the body is attached. So it's actually got body pins on this one, so it is different. On the other one, it's just Velcro and then 2 pins on each side. This one's got more of the traditional kind of pins that you'd get. Detail is really good. Polycarbonate, obviously. I think what's the most thing about this is the way that they've done the bodies. They look really, really good.
They included some stickers for Team Moose, so if you want to add a bit more detail, you can.
Right, then we have the charger again. Battery is exactly the same. So let's pop them out. So we have the batteries. Then we have the car itself. Oh, it's stuck this time. There we go. So can you actually take the wheels on and off? I don't know how, they're just pressed in. Everything else looks to be identical. So if we take both of them and turn them over, yeah, they're exactly the same. Front arms, all the rear is exactly the same. It's only the mounts on the body that are different. The tower's exactly the same. So there's just this extra part here. And then there's a rear part here, which is different. So this back section is slightly different. But apart from that, it's really just the tires. So they're going to perform pretty much exactly the same. Be interesting to see having these bigger front tires is going to give you better steering or worse steering. So we're going to have to charge this one up. Charging this up is very simple. You just pull that out, plug in the USB, and then it goes green, and then it's charging until the light goes off. And then you've got your on and off button. Simple as that. Everything else seems to be the same. Right, let's charge it up and take it for a bit of a blast.
Well, it's pretty obvious it's not exactly going to win any land speed records now, are they? But for an indoor little RC, they go fine. The one thing that I found was the steering is quite sensitive and it doesn't feel very linear. You turn it a little bit and then the car turns a small amount, and then before you know it, it veers off. So there's no way to turn down the endpoints, for instance, so that you don't get too much steering. Also, the sensitivity of it, you can't adjust that as well. But kind of what do you expect for this kind of money? So the cars have no problem being driven on carpet and the odd rug, but how do they handle outside? So please excuse my war-torn patio. We're just coming out of winter, and this is what happens to a lovely patio over the winter in the UK. We have to get out and clean just about everything. But they handle this really well. I wasn't sure whether they'd be able to cope with the joins in the patio, and there was no problems whatsoever. As for trying to drive it on things like grass, well, it has to be very, very short, and honestly, you're really asking too much, as there's just no articulation in the suspension and the ground clearance just can't cope with the undulations you get on grass. One aspect I really liked was that you could control 2 cars with 1 transmitter. What do I mean by that? Well, it binds on turn on. So all you have to do is turn on the actual buggy, turn on the transmitter, and it will bind to it. So you could take with you 2 cars and just 1 transmitter and then just jump between the 2. This is really handy on things like, well, you've got extra battery, so you could have 2 cars, 2 sets of batteries, and that way you get a longer run time without having to drag around 2 transmitters and 2 cars. Now, being that these are rechargeable USB, all you have to do then is basically take a USB charger with you, and then you can plug it straight into that and charge up the cars. So all you need to do is take 2 cars with you, 1 transmitter and a USB charger, and you've got hours of RC fun, especially if you've got a reasonable open space that's smooth.
So what's my honest opinions of these little fellas? Well, if you happen to be a Team Associated vintage RC10 fan and you collect a lot of them, these have a very novelty aspect to them that has some value, especially as you get the box where they've shrunk down a normal RC10 box, and the whole kind of experience of having something really small. The bodies are really nice. They put a lot of detail into them, so there is definitely a novelty factor to have one of those. As an actual RC, well, they do function and they are proportional, but don't expect a very dynamic driving experience. They are toy grade after all. If you're looking for something a bit more, maybe a Micro B would be a better way to go, as that's going to perform way better. But they're twice the price. You can get both of those for the same money. So would I get the Micro B instead of these? For just driving around, if you're going to go out and about and you want to take a little RC with you that you can blast around, that may be a better way to go. But if you are a vintage fan who loves your novelty aspects, well, I think you just can't resist these little fellas. Anyway, thanks so much. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.